Good morning. To start off this lesson, I would like you to take 2 to 3 minutes to just do a quick write about how you feel about the lab. If you're watching this on a regular video, you can press pause. If you are doing the Ed puzzle, I will have a stop after I explain what to do. So write your experience with the lab in this class. What went well? What was difficult? What was fun? What was not fun? How did you feel while you were doing this lab? And how did you feel when you finished collecting the data portion of this lab? And then explain why. I want you guys to really actualize what you did and go back and reflect. So please take time and do that now. Today, we're going to have our do now, norms and expectations, announcements, objectives. We're going to go into the anatomy of a CER, and then you will get work time. Please note that your homework, which is your lactose lab data collection, the stapled sheets that you received last class, along with your lactose lab CER, which you will be receiving today in paragraph form, are due on Friday, February 9th at 3:40. Norms and expectations, as always, be punctual, be prepared, be productive, be present, and be polite. And you will need your lactose lab today. So I told you guys in class to bring your lactose lab back today. You are going to be taking notes, but your notes are on anything you don't already know. They will help you with this lab. So please have something to write on and something to write with. And finally, our objectives today. You guys are going to be able to translate a CER graphic organizer, which is the pages that we've done our CERs on thus far, into paragraph form. So quick information about milk. I put this up on the board during the lab yesterday, but some of you may have just been finishing up. I want to repeat it one more time. Milk is derived from an animal and contains lactose sugar. Lactose sugar is broken down by the lactase enzyme. Almond milk is actually not milk, it's just almond juice. It is not derived from an animal, and therefore it does not contain lactose sugar. And then if you look at lactose-free milk, you will see one ingredient in there that will be a big help in determining which milk is which from your lab based on your data. So go ahead and write this down if you don't have it already. And today we're going to learn about the anatomy of a science CER. A CER is essentially the conclusion to your lab. So someone can come into your lab, they can look at what you have set up, and then they can read your quick conclusion that clearly states your evidence, your claim, and your reasoning why your evidence allowed you to come to the conclusion that you came up with. So here is the anatomy, and this is just kind of a blueprint of what your CER should look like for my class. There are other ways to write a CER, but this is how we're going to start. So you start off your paragraph with your claim. Next sentence should be your strongest piece of evidence. Follow your strongest evidence with reasoning, showing why or how the evidence supports the claim. Your second piece of evidence comes next. This should be immediately followed by the reason why this evidence is important. Your final piece of evidence goes into this sentence. That evidence is to be followed by your last piece of reasoning. Be sure to link the evidence to the claim. Lastly, you will need to restate your claim in a conclusion sentence. And for those visual learners, claims here are in red, evidence are in blue, reasoning is in green. So here's an example. Claim sentence. Students should not be allowed to drive when they turn 13. There are many hormonal changes happening to kids around that age. Because of these hormones, 13-year-olds might be too emotional to comprehend the reasons for and consequences of breaking driving laws. Also, the average height of a 13-year-old is 5 foot and 1 inch. Since most teens at this age are not tall enough to reach the gas pedal and see above the steering wheel, it would not be safe for them to operate a motor vehicle. Finally, statistics show the younger a person is, the more likely they are to get into an accident. This could mean that if we allow children as young as 13 to drive, we could see an increase in injuries and possibly even deaths. In conclusion, students should not be allowed to drive when they turn 13. So here are some slides of notes. You do not have to take these notes unless you don't know them. A claim is a statement that simply answers your driving or research question. A claim will usually be one sentence in length. A claim should not include any reasoning or evidence. Claims should not have words like however, therefore, because, and claims should not start off with I think. It weakens the claim. Start your paragraph off with your claim, and this is the statement you will be defending. And the example in the paragraph before, students should not be allowed to drive when they turn 13. And the rest of the paragraph is a list of evidence and reasons why. Evidence. This is your supporting sentence. Evidence is data that you will use to support your claim or topic sentence. Evidence can be qualitative, which means non-numeric, such as things you observe or direct quotes from reading. So for an example, there are many hormonal changes happening in kids around that age. This could have been a reading from a scientific journal of some sort. Evidence can also be quantitative or numeric, such as data from charts or experiments or statistics from articles. So the average height of a 13-year-old is 5'1". This is a quantitative piece of data based off of evidence. Finally, your reasoning should explain why and how the evidence supports the claim. It should be logical and easy to follow. Do not restate your evidence in your reasoning. This is the most common mistake students make. Okay, do not restate your evidence in your reasoning. So for example, if I was to say the average height of a 13-year-old is 5'1". The reason why they can't drive is because they're 5'1". That's simply restating your evidence. You need to have a reason why that piece of evidence means your claim is true. So the average height of a 13-year-old is about 5'1". Since most teens at this age are not tall enough to reach the gas pedal and see above the steering wheel, it would not be safe for them to operate a motor vehicle. This thoroughly explains why that numeric piece of evidence supports your claim that 13-year-olds should not drive. The reasoning should follow the evidence statement and directly link it to the claim. Now, this lecture is in Schoology right now, and in this lesson, you have general evidence sentence starters. One piece of evidence to support this claim is, according to the data collected during the experiment, one thing I observed in the investigation was. If you don't like these sentence starters, please feel free to use your own. But remember, evidence is just the facts, not what you think would happen, not what you assume might happen, just what you actually observed and recorded. Reasoning sentence starters. This is important because this evidence shows that. This evidence suggests that. This evidence confirms that. Based on the evidence, it can be concluded that blank because blank. Or the most logical conclusion is that blank because blank. Again, your reasoning should explain why your piece of evidence directly links to the claim. How does that piece of evidence prove that your claim is true? On the CER portion, it will be out of 40 points. In order to get a 10 out of 10 on the claim, as always, you need to make an accurate and complete claim that answers the question. In order to get a 10 out of 10 on evidence, you must provide the 3 strongest pieces of scientific data-based evidence that support the claim. No irrelevant evidence can be included. Your reasoning needs to accurately and scientifically explain the relevance of all pieces of evidence in support of the claim. And in order to get a 10 out of 10, you cannot have any inaccuracies on your reasoning. And finally, in paragraph form, not only do we have language, your ability to use the vocabulary, But we also have syntax, which is your ability to write a paragraph with good grammar and good spelling and good sentence structure. So the investigator correctly uses all 5 science concepts and vocabulary words below. You need to use lactase correctly, lactose correctly, glucose correctly, enzyme correctly, and you need to use the word control correctly. Investigator uses correct CER paragraph format, so you follow the format outlined in this lesson. And your CER can contain no grammatical or spelling errors. So this means you are going to need to proofread your CER in order to get a perfect grade. At this time, you have work time for the rest of the period. You can finish gathering your evidence and writing out your reasoning in your lab graphic organizer. Begin writing your CER in paragraph form using the tools provided to you in this lesson. And again, this lesson is available in Schoology under class lectures. Your lactose lab data collection and CER are due Friday, February 9th. This assignment will be on your 5-week grade. So please have fun writing.